So just a little on revolutions, protests. So color revolutions, right? Revolutions, as they have been known in the European nation. Not here so much. But when I explain them to you, it's gonna hit you all of a sudden about exactly what they are. So these revolutions, basically it's state destabilization, right? Destabilizing a state, country, and non-violent, whatever turns violent, with plausible deniability, right? From the actors who are doing so. And I do mean actors in many ways, paid for actors. So now these things have been going on for many, many, many years all over the place. A lot in Europe and huge in Ukraine. That's one reason why I'm bringing it up, because due to Ukraine, the Orange Revolution, and oh my goodness, whatever else there are, Tulip Revolution, and another, I think there was a green, due to them using the colors, right, to represent certain things. So these revolutions, right, protests, always start as peaceful. And then they turn, right, there's certain state actors in between who turn them into the violent part. And sometimes, I mean, that could just take a few people. This stuff has been practiced and practiced and practiced and been perfected over a lot of years, many years. And they all have the same similar type of thing. Not that everybody is innocent. Now, you're always going to have the group mentality who join in. Just like now, you know, to a certain extent. I'm driving down the road here, I see an electronic sign, billboard, and it's got Ukraine on it. And I've seen another one. You know, and then you have the own people in Congress, of all things, standing there with a flag that's been turned into like a half Ukrainian. It's the American flag, but the colors of it. Basically, members of Congress, you know, doing what's against policy, and of course, any kind of ethical and moral value to the United States flag of America, or of the United States, desecrating it. All members of Congress. I don't know if you've seen the photo, but it's, once again, just shameful. So that's been going on over there for years and years and years, promoted, done, and everything else. By the way, I need to correct myself when I said something earlier in the video about Yanukovych. Yanukovych was overthrown. I think I said he was placed in 2014. It was 2014 when he was replaced by the coup, which included Lindsey Graham and John McCain and very specific, you know, the UN ambassadors and people who were there, of course. So anyway, but he was the one that was overthrown. But besides that, so anyway, there's actually a playbook, literally called The Playbook, that where this stuff has been done for years. And it was an American, which, you know, it's been come to known, dictators across the world use it now because of the training again. So this guy's name is, make sure I get it right here. I know it's pretty simple. I think it's Gene Sharp. And Gene Sharp. And so he's the guy that pretty much wrote the book. Wrote a book called From Dictatorship to Democracy. All right, see the big words there again? From Dictatorship to Democracy. And he ended up being recruited at like age 29 by a certain agency. And the certain agency utilized him basically up to his death. It was like in 2018. To this very successful non-violent protest, but these revolutions and the training were used. So, and what they all consist of, again, are these movements that are supported and appear to be done in peace. But there's always underlining violent groups that are there. And they were blamed, right? The actors, most are actors, but the certain actors are blamed for these 10 incited the entire riot. And then who are they? Right? Sometimes it is those who may infiltrate some other kind of protest and cause that as well, without others knowing it. So that's the thing with anybody, joining in on these things. That's why you got to be super cautious nowadays. But anyway, so there's literally a playbook because it's been so successful over the years. Other countries have been taught this, or groups to get into certain countries. Ukraine's one of a dominant one in this, and cause these protests where they're very significant. Because people join in these things and they really, sometimes, there's this riot mentality that occurs. And people might be chanting a name and they don't even know who the person is. For example, in the Middle East, there was one chanting the name. And like a guy was asked, he said, he, and then it was a woman who actually, he didn't even know if it was a he or she. So, but anyway, and over there it doesn't work quite as well because there's so many other things that you can stir up and cause issues with, primarily religion. But in other countries, in Europe, not here in the U.S., it's whenever used. And the playbook is what you see. You see, nowadays, the masks, right? COVID-19 helps with that tremendously. Hoodies, zip-up jackets, covered face, and of course, the signs, but, the ripping down of the signs, and then, the pushing and the shoving, and where that stuff gets pressed by a certain amount, and once they isolate a certain group, let's say it's law enforcement, whatever, the military, isolate them, cause a disturbance there, which, in turn causes other disturbances, and therefore it then turns violent, and then everybody gets involved or everybody's blamed, even though some people might be calling for peace, and on and on. So again, it's a playbook that's been going on for years, literally. Again, the playbook. So again, what does that sound like? You see it over there. Which the big revolutions, the orange revolution, again, I think the tulip and the green, whatever else, some of the colors. But here in the States, what does it sound like? Antifa, BLM, yeah, exactly. Where these people are paid, and when research is done, where's this money? Where does this money go, and who's paying the money? And where it comes back to, I think BLM. I mean, I can't remember the Democratic group it goes back to now. I lose something. It slips my mind all of a sudden, but it may come to me. But again, so when people are, because like BLM, Black Lives Matter, it's a catchy term. Well, Black lives do matter, and it's always the fist, right? And all of them. It's always this, the fist, power to the people, and all of these things. Antifa, right? Black Lives Matter, Orange Revolution, Tulip Revolution, on and on and on and on. It goes back years. So something to be aware of every time these things are going on. Again, like with Black Lives Matter, well, it's very catchy, right? Black lives do matter, right? So you have to participate, because I do think Black Lives Matter. But okay, but that statement is catchy and trendy, has nothing to do with what you're doing. You never even give money, right, to any black communities, or done anything at all for black communities. Paid actors who make millions, whatever it is, supposed leaders, right? But yet they live like the former Black Lives Matter leader, bought 3 houses in the whitest parts of the United States, making millions, right? The whitest parts of the United States. So that's how that stuff works. Again, propaganda, spin, plans. And due to a lot of what's going on now, when you see the television, if you're going to consistently watch it and observe what's going on, is to remember that. A playbook. Man, that looks familiar. That sounds familiar. Maybe you want to study it. Maybe you want to look Gene Sharp up. Maybe you want to look into what the playbook is and how it operates. So you can understand how these things are utilized, and now they're utilized a lot in, the universities in the United States. Once again, Antifa and BLM is just a huge part of it. These brick piles just happen to show up. Where these bricks just come from? Somebody leave, 2,000 bricks on the corner and just forgot them? What about those bricks over there? What about these rocks and everything, whatever it is, just shows up. It blows my mind that nobody continues to investigate this stuff. And it's not hard. They're on a pallet. Bricks are made at a certain location. You can tell where they're made. Where do these bricks come from? Who ordered them? Who bought them? All right? And then you go back and it's simple, trace them back to, hey, this is where they were purchased. Who purchased them? Video cameras and stuff are everywhere now. You're going to tell me there's no videos of anybody dropping a truckload of bricks off in a wide open corner where there's no construction they're going to be used? Give me a break. Give me a break. You think we're that stupid? But people are that stupid, right? They're ignorant because they're ignorant of the knowledge that that's occurred. People just walk by. Maybe there's going to be construction going on here. Oh, no, they're here to bash all the windows out here tomorrow, which occurs. And then stuff happens and people forget. It's never addressed in the media. And then nobody ever goes back, well, let's investigate this a little bit. It's simple to figure out. But it's easier to create something else and go look this way and take your mind off of it. Okay? Protests, revolutions, the same playbook over and over. Keep that in mind as more of this bullshit continues to happen. Cool? Knowledge is cool.